Yep, that was me. What pregnancy? Use my eyes to see. I have a lot of confessions. But first, let me tell you how overjoyed I am to have you watching this video right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my space. And welcome to Confessions of a New Mom with Ese Talks. When I found out I was pregnant for the very first time, I was so ecstatic. I and my husband were happy, and personally, I was so happy to have a baby, to meet my little one. It's always been a dream of mine to build a home and a family. And so finding out I was pregnant, I was so happy. I was already dreaming about the many things I was going to do, shopping for baby clothes, the photo shoots, matching outfits with my baby. It was just a lot in my head. It was a rush. What I wasn't prepared for was what it was going to be like the first few months of my pregnancy. Personally, I'm the last born and only girl, and I don't have any experience. I always say this to my friends that are firstborn daughters, or maybe they have aunties or elder sisters that they've babysat for. I always tell them, you guys have a little experience. I know it's different because that's not your child, but at least you have some experience. Unlike me, I was a complete novice in this game. Like, this was a new path for me and my husband. So let's just say I was very, I was skeptical, scared, but I was very optimistic because I was excited about the journey. So I want to tell you guys, bit by bit, what it was like for me, my entire journey, the very first few months for me. Okay, so what exactly was my emotions and headspace in my first few months? So it was like this for me, right? In my first trimester, which is the first 3 months, I had very terrible morning sickness, and I was losing so much weight for reasons I could not even understand. And I was very emotional that period. One thing I clearly remember was there was a day I had not eaten for a long time. Like, let's just say I was eating like a bird, right? I wasn't eating food because anything I put in my stomach just wouldn't stay down. I would throw up, and I was feeling very weak. So one day I started crying. It was very funny. It wasn't funny then when it happened, but thinking back now, I think it was funny because I was crying so much. I was telling my husband that my baby's not growing, that it's my fault. I was hysterical, like, my baby's not growing. What am I gonna do? I'm not eating. My husband had to call my pastor. He called her to explain that this was happening, that I'm crying, I won't stop crying, that my baby's not growing, I'm the reason. Because at the time, I think I was already 3 months pregnant and I wasn't showing. So, like I said before, that I'm a novice. I was a novice, right? So my whole idea of being pregnant is that the first 3 months you're already showing, your tummy should be out there. For people to see that you're pregnant, the signs should be there. You should be, you understand, glowing, looking different, that pregnancy glow. But mine had just not kicked in yet. For every woman, of course, it's very different. So that first 3 months I wasn't showing, and I was even getting very thin, because I could barely stomach anything that I was putting in my mouth. I was just throwing up. I could not even stand the smell of my kitchen. So that's how dramatic I was. I was very emotional. I was in my feelings that first trimester, and my headspace. I just was not in the mood for anybody's nonsense, including my husband. Everybody just needed to just behave around me that period. I was very emotional, touchy, touchy. There's one question that people always ask: what's the most common thing in pregnancy that's, is very common with pregnant women? And one thing that will pop out, what people would say is cravings. I've seen a lot of people use it to make skits, use it to make jokes. Even my husband is an entertainer, so he always jokes about how my cravings were so extra and all that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that I was still a baby girl when I was pregnant, so calm down, okay? My cravings were not out of this world. Of course, there are some things that I really craved, and one in particular was liver rice. I loved liver rice when I was pregnant. If I say I love it now, I loved it extra. For some reason, I wanted pepper liver rice. And I always tell my husband, there's this spot around one area close to GRA. I'll tell him, go and look for that liver rice and buy it. And my husband, of course, never failed. He will go and buy that pepper rice. Then I also loved snacking. I was huge on snacking, plantain chips, chin, cakes. It's a wonder that I didn't get fat when I was pregnant, guys. If you actually see, don't worry, I'll show you guys. If you actually see me, I was not looking like someone that was pregnant. Especially in that first trimester, I was still looking like I was doing fit farm because I wasn't showing, like I said. So yeah, cravings for me my cravings were not extra. I didn't crave fried charcoal, mind you. I did not crave weird things that were not normal to eat. I craved what was normal. And I always had my cravings satisfied. And I also had to keep my sugar intake in check, because from what I heard, someone told me that, if you eat so much sugar, your baby will be fat and you too, you gain weight. But that really didn't apply to me because I really snacked a lot when I was pregnant. So yes, my cravings were not extra. They were not weird. I would say that they were not weird because I've heard some people's cravings. Burnt jollof rice, the bottom part that is black. I don't know how they do it, but I guess there's some medical explanation. Maybe not. I feel that there's a medical explanation to why some pregnant women have weird cravings. But for me, I didn't have weird cravings. At least my cravings were considered normal during my pregnancy. I often hear people say that when you become a mother, your sleep pattern is going to change. But what I did not anticipate was that it was going to change right from pregnancy. So my sleep pattern drastically changed when I became pregnant. Of course, as my baby bump was growing, it became more difficult for me to sleep on my sides, on my back. Yes, because obviously you can't sleep on your tummy, right? So they will always tell you don't sleep on your back either. The most favorable position for pregnant women is considered your left hand side or your right, but mostly the doctors will tell you it's your left hand side. So I found that very difficult because I would always like to sleep on my belly, on my back. So now that I was out, I was pregnant, it was very difficult for me. It's really impacted my sleep. And when I became heavier, I would just toss and turn and toss and turn. I was like, just imagine a huge elephant, huge, like being pregnant with a huge elephant. I couldn't turn. It was so difficult. I don't even know how to explain it that you guys can understand, but just visualize it, how difficult it is for pregnant women out there. So when you see a pregnant woman, just feel empathy for her, because it's not easy. You see those women, you see them during the day. Some of us lack sleep at nights. So it was really difficult for me. My sleep pattern really changed drastically. I think I started to experience a lot of insomnia when I was pregnant. It was hard for me. And now that I am a toddler mom, it hasn't gotten any better, I can assure you. Another thing that stood out for me during my pregnancy journey was frequent urination. And I really think that this is very common with pregnant women, because they say that, of course, it's medically proven that the pressure of the baby pushes down to the bladder, so it tends to make pregnant women urinate often. For me, it was really bad. Like, I couldn't understand why I was urinating every 20 minutes, every 30 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating, guys. It was so bad at night. And I think this is another thing that really impacted my sleep, because the need to always urinate, and you are told to stay hydrated as a pregnant woman, because that's very, very important. So you need to stay hydrated, but then you frequently urinate, and then this impacts your sleep, because you need to sleep, and then you're waking up every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes just so you can urinate. It's really a lot. Beleo to all pregnant moms. and gentlemen, I became a researcher, scientist, researcher, everything. I did not want to stay a novice. I already said in the early part of this video that I was a complete novice when I got pregnant, and pregnancy, delivery, and labor is nothing short of a miracle. God is really awesome. The woman's body is amazing, and the ability for a woman's body to recover and heal after going through such a very hard process. Trust me, it's a testament to the fact that there's a God. It is not by accident. Everything was just divinely arranged by God, to birth a human, bring a human being into this world. It's really beautiful and amazing. And I think that was one of the things I loved most about my pregnancy journey, the fact that I had to discover new things, and I appreciated it more. I think I discovered a new appreciation for motherhood and for all mothers out there. So yes, I would advise you as a new mom, do your research. It doesn't hurt to know more. I admit that there are some very challenging times during pregnancy. I, for one, have heard stories from friends of mine that have been pregnant or are pregnant right now, and I know that pregnancy is not just all a bed of roses. I am speaking from experience because I have been there. And if you're an expecting mom, I'm not trying to scare you, but I just want you to know that it's a beautiful journey, no doubt, but there are some really challenging times. There are times you feel very sad and low, and of course it might be due to hormones, or maybe you're just an emotional person like I am, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being in your feelings, with expressing yourself as a pregnant mom, especially if you're a first time expecting mother. So it was like that for me. There were times I just wasn't feeling myself. So when I got scared like that, I had a support system. But before I dig into my support system, I was gifted a very beautiful and amazing special gift by my pastor, and it's titled Supernatural Birth. This is actually a book. And if you're a mom, an experienced mom out there that has already read this book, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're a believer, that this book is amazing. I really strongly recommend this book for all expecting moms, and even if you're an experienced mom, I recommend this book for you because it really helped me through my journey personally. I spoke earlier about how I started researching a lot of things. So getting my hands on a book like this was really a lot to me because it strengthened my faith, and it just casted out all fear and doubt from my mind. Because like I said, pregnancy could be very scary sometimes. When you hear some people's stories, when you hear the reality of what some women go through, sometimes if you're not really strong, it might want to shake you a little bit. But I assure you that there's nothing to worry, there's nothing to be scared of, especially if you're a believer. Just hold on to your faith. But if you get your hands on Supernatural Birth, this book is amazing. It really helped me personally through my pregnancy journey. I read through it back to the end, back and forth. I read that book twice before I delivered, and it really helped me to hold on to faith. And there were certain things that I actually declared before I had my baby. And trust me when I tell you that it was according to my faith. I prayed for an easy, fast, swift delivery. And as a first-time mom, it was like that for me. My delivery was so swift, it was fast, it was easy, that people, the midwives in the hospital, they were asking me if I was a first-time mom. Like, true story. So that's actually my own testimony. I humbled pregnancy. Yes, I said it with my full chest. Do you think I'm lying? No, it's fine. I have evidence. Come take a look. Can you see? Can you see this baby girl? Look how she's glowing. Look how she's shining. Hey, God. Pregnancy got nothing on me. I ate and left no crumbs. I was legit very afraid of certain gifts that comes with pregnancy. I'm calling it gifts. I don't want to give it weird names because they are truly a gift. I'm talking about big nose, swollen feet, acne, hyperpigmentation, and so much more. These are things that are gifts that comes with pregnancy. But I luckily escaped this special gift. Pregnancy gave me others. I'm happy. And the one it gave me is glowing skin. I glowed and I slayed. As you saw for yourself. So yes, that's why I said I humbled pregnancy. I mean, there are some videos I watch on social media and I see some pregnant women, how they completely and drastically change when they are pregnant. Even me as a mother, I'm shocked. And I'm like, what? pregnancy did you dirty though. I'm like, why? I mean, all we want to do is bring life into this earth. Why you gotta do us dirty? But luckily for me, I escaped, and instead I brought pregnancy to its knees. So yes, that's why I said I humbled pregnancy. Thank you. So how did I navigate the end of my pregnancy journey? While I was anticipating and preparing to meet my little princess, I had already packed my hospital bags. I had everything on lockdown. I had prepared my nursery to my tastes. Everything was looking all good and nice. And so one day I went to the hospital. It was one of my routine antenatal checks, and I had to go see my gynecologist. And she was doing a normal checks, everything, what they do in the hospital. And then she asked me, how far along are you? And I told her, oh yeah, I'm 38 weeks. And then when she did her whole calculations, she asked me further questions. She found that I was already 41 weeks and 5 days. I had exceeded my due date by 2 extra weeks. So yes, I can say that I had my baby at 10 months. Well, it was 9 months and 2 weeks. So I want to start getting scared. Like, what's going to happen? My baby's already 42 weeks old. What should I do? But I had to just calm down, Ese. You were prepared for this. It's okay. Everything is going to be fine. So my doctor just took me through the steps of what I needed to do, that I had to be induced for labor. And so I followed her instructions. I called my husband. I was the one that was supposed to be doing calm down. But I was the one that was scared, low key. I called my husband. I said, baby, just calm down. And mind you, I was already having little contractions. I was like, just calm down. I'm at the hospital. The doctor told me I'll have to stay back. I'll have to be induced for labor because I am post date and our baby is going to be here soon. And I was while I was doing this, some people were outside at the hospital looking at me. I was doing breathe. It was really dramatic, honestly. And so few hours later, the doctors induced me for labor, and by the next day, Wednesday, January 4th, by 9:31 a.m., I was holding my bundle of joy. I was so happy to meet her. It was, like I said earlier, it was a very easy pregnancy. It was very stress-free. It was fast, and it was just a beautiful moment for me. And the first time I held my girl, I cried tears of joy. And I looked at her, and the first thing I said was, you look so much like your dad, because she was looking exactly like her father. I mean, you could just see the face, but it was beautiful. My baby was looking at me, her eyes were open. I mean, what's up with having children now and their eyes are open, shining, looking at you like they can fight you? Well, anyways, my bundle of joy came, and she came as a blessing and a gift, and I will forever be grateful to God. I'm hoping that there are expecting moms watching this video right now. If you're an expecting mom, or if you are a friend to an expecting mom, or a spouse or a sibling, I hope you share this video with them. I've always wanted to document my pregnancy journey and my motherhood journey as a whole, and starting with this now, just reminiscing, it just brings me so much joy and warmth in my heart, and I really hope that's what this video does for you. And one last thing I would love to add to this video is how I had a very strong support system. That's one of the things that stood out for me throughout my pregnancy journey. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by amazing people. I mean, a strong support system. One of those persons was my husband. God gave me a wonderful man. He's so kind. I would always tell people, marry a kind man. Marry a kind man. He's amazing. He was there through thick and thin, and he's still here even now that I'm raising a toddler. My mom, she was there for me. I remember I said there were times I couldn't bear the smell of my kitchen. My mom would cook pots of soups and stews for me and feed me. She would make pounded yam. I enjoyed. She was the one that fed me that period, that first trimester for me that was hard. She was there for me. And my Pastor Anwili Ojikere, she was amazing to me. So I really had a strong support system. So that's why I'm really advising that you get one. There are some online. There's a community for mothers, first-time moms. Just reach out. You could even reach out to me, and if you want to share your story, I would love to hear, because this could be a very difficult time as a new mom. If you don't have any support at all, it could be very difficult. But once you have people to rely on, people you can count on, people you can get counsel from, it will make this very easy. And the one person, trust me, that you can always 100% rely on is the Holy Spirit. Yes, I'm a believer, and I know that God is the one that really strengthens a woman and really upholds us. So yes, he's the number one support system I endorse. Remember that motherhood is not a solo journey. It has warmed my heart to record this video for you. I had so much fun, and I really hope that you come back to watch my next video. Do want to subscribe if you haven't, and if you have questions, if you're curious about anything, or you want to share your own pregnancy journey with me, I'll be excited to read them. The comment sections are open for you. I'm waiting to hear from you. It's been Ese Talks. Bye.